Hello, this is Mr. Barnaby. Buckle those seatbelts because today you're going to learn how to properly format an MLA research paper. Exciting stuff, I know. Let's get started here. So open up the Pages app. Go ahead, create a new document. Under Basic, you're going to choose the blank portrait. First thing I would like you to do is change the name of this file from blank. It always bugs me when I see students with a bunch of files named blank. So general rule of thumb is name it your last name and then the title of the document. Now this isn't actually MLA format, but it's a kind of a good rule to follow. All right, so the next steps that we have to do is we need to change our font size, and we need to double space this document. So click anywhere on the document so that your cursor appears, and then find the paintbrush in the top right hand corner. This is where we do our formatting. All right, under font, we're going to change it from Helvetica New to Times New Roman, and that is the preferred font of MLA. Okay. Next, find the size, the font size here, and we're going to change that from 11 point to 12, just like that. And then last thing here is line spacing. We're going to change that from single line spacing all the way up to 2 so that it is double spaced. Okay, please pause the video and follow those steps. Okay, now that you have adjusted your font, the font size, and double spaced your document, it is now time to create a running head. So MLA requires a running head that contains your last name and the page number of the document. What you don't want to do is manually create this running head on each page. Not only is that annoying to do, but you'll also end up just formatting it wrong. So follow these steps to do that. We want to go into our document settings, which is the 3 dots in the top right hand corner, those 3 horizontal dots. And then we want to find document setup. So this is the document setup area. And along the top, you're going to see these 3 boxes. We want to choose the one all the way on the right hand side. When you click in there, you'll see that this page numbers option comes up. Go ahead and tap on that. And you have 4 options here. The one I'm going to recommend is the 3rd one down that says page 1. Now, we're not done yet because we need to change that word page to your last name. Unless, of course, your last name is Page. In that case, you're in luck. But for everyone else, we just need to do a long hold, delete page, and then type in your last name. And make sure, this is very important, make sure that you leave a space in between your last name and the page number. Also too, make sure that you are properly capitalizing your last name. It is a proper name, so you want to make sure that you do that. Once you've done those steps, press done. And you'll see that you have a running head, and when you move on to page 2 of this document, you'll see your last name and 2, so that running head will be generated for you. All right, go ahead and pause the video and complete that step. Let's do a little recap. So at this point, we named our file, we double spaced the document, changed our font to Times New Roman, and changed it to 12 point. We've also created a running head. It is now time to create the header for our document. Before I get into it, one very important rule. When it comes time to hit the return key, only press it once. So do not press that return key twice from here on out while you write this document. So let's get started. Tap on the screen to get your cursor up. And the first thing that you need to put on that screen is your first and last name. So I'm going to use my name as an example, but of course you're going to put in your name. Again, make sure that you capitalize correctly because this is a proper name. Then we press the return key, and you guessed it, you only press that once, and you can see it double spaces for us. Here we need to put the instructor's name. So in this case, this is ICT. Your instructor is Miss Cunningham. Miss Cunningham is very picky about how you spell her name. So it needs to be MS period, not MISS, MS period, and Cunningham. And notice I spelled her name correctly. I also capitalized appropriately too as well. Then I'm going to press the return button again. Go to the next line. Here we need to put the name of the course, which in this case is ICT, followed by a comma, and then the period number. So I'm going to put period, and then whatever period you have ICT. Now keep in mind, if you're doing this for a different class, it's good, you're going to name it whatever that class name is, followed by the correct period. Okay, now the final thing is we need to put the date. So the date that you're writing the paper, and it's very specific how you do this. It needs to be day, month, and year. Okay, and that's the format that you're following. So as an example, I will just say 2 February 2019. Of course, your date will be different because you're writing it at a different time. All right, go ahead and pause the video and create your header for the document. Now that we've created the heading, we want to make the title of our paper. So to do that, you press the return key. Remember, only ever press that return key one time. And then we need to align our cursor to the center. So by default, it's aligned to the left. So you want to select your align tool, which is right above the delete key in your keyboard. Select center, which then puts that cursor in the middle of the page for you. Before you type in your title, make sure that you make your font bold by selecting the B on your keyboard. And then here you type in your paper's title, whatever that title may be. And again, notice how I capitalized appropriately since this is a proper title of a paper. Okay, go ahead and pause the video and make your title. Now that you have your title, there's only one thing left to do, which is write the rest of the paper, starting with your first paragraph. So let's begin. So here we're going to press the return key. You guessed it, only press that one time. We are aligned in the center. We want to align it left right now. So select your align tool above the delete key. Select align left. That takes you back to the left-hand side. We don't want to be in bold anymore, so deselect bold. And when you start any paragraph, you want to make sure that you indent. And you can indent one of two ways. You can either press the tab key on your keyboard, or right above that next to the font name Times New Roman, there's that indent button that you can press, which will do the same thing as the tab key, indent it for you. And once you indent it, you can begin starting to write your first paragraph. And of course, just make sure that all subsequent paragraphs you are indenting. So good luck on this paper, and let me know if you need any help.